Hey, what's up, guys? Back in action here with the Snapper SR1433, and today we're going to change the blade. Now, I don't think this is the original blade that comes with this mower, but I think it's called a Ninja blade because it has the dual edges, which does a pretty good job in a normal day. But what's happening now is December in Central Florida, and it gets pretty cold. And as you can see, I have a major leaf problem. I love this tree, this oak tree, Florida oak, beautiful tree. Probably the best one on the street, to be honest. But the biggest problem is there's leaves everywhere. And I don't want to do the rake and bag way of doing it. So I want to actually see if I can turn these leaves into mulch. So the Ninja blade, I tried to use it. It's not doing a very good job. So I looked online and I looked up something called a GATOR G3 blade. So I picked it off of Amazon. I think it's like 35 bucks or so. And it's made by Oregon. And the item number is 96-633. And again, this is a 1433. So I guess 32 7/8 is the right size for this mower. But hopefully with the special edges, it's designed to actually mulch the leaves up and turn to fertilizer. So it should cut it with that first edge right there, and then it should get some lift on the backside, and then the leaves should flow back around and then cut back on the blade, which will do it multiple times over and turn the leaves into mulch. So then when it rains and then the sun hits the leaves and hits the soil, it should be actually really good fertilizer, because that's another problem I'm having on my lawn, is that the grass is not growing. But I would say part of it is because it's fully covered with leaves. So probably kicking out, killing two birds with one stone. So we're gonna change this blade out. This is not the original hardware that came with the mower. Let me see if I can find it. This is like the original bolt. I don't even know what size it is. I can't find it. I think it's like about a 1/2 inch or so, but it may be metric. But this particular bolt, as you can see, I had to cut it with my cutoff wheel because it was completely rusted out and there's no way I could possibly get to it. So I had to cut off with a cutoff wheel, and there's two of them on both sides. So these two outer bolts, 1 and 2, had to be taken out. And I went to Ace Hardware, and this is a grade 10.9 bolt, so it's a little bit better than a grade 8. So it's been doing a great job. I had no vibration issues or anything coming apart, and I have the self-locking nuts on the back of each one. So it's been doing a pretty good job. So it should be a simple fix. Should be just taking those pieces off, taking those bolts off rather, and just replacing the blade, and we should be good to go. So let's cut to that now. So like I said, I used a 3/4 inch socket with a 3/4 inch opening wrench. Just reach behind it. It should be pretty tight. Yeah, put it on pretty tight. That's for sure. And it is. One. So now that we have the blade off, I want to do a closer inspection on the Ninja blade. It's a pretty interesting blade because it actually has 2 or 4 edges in one. It has this first edge which come in contact with the grass initially, and then it has this raised elevated edge that comes into contact the second time. In theory, it would hit here first, the grass, and then almost cause a lift to cut it up again and kind of mulch it, but it's not doing a fantastic job. As you can see, I tried to sharpen it, but it's such a older blade, it's just not really doing a great job. So in theory, this should be the first edge on the GATOR G3. It's actually a bigger edge, and it'll cut it the first time, and then you can't see the angle, but there's actually a lift to it on the back side. Plus you have those 3 different blades. And it's interesting how they're angled. So there must be some sort of airlift that happens with the grass as it passes over the blade. So it first hits the grass here, then it comes up and lifts up the shavings and circles it back around inside the mower deck, and then it comes back down to get cut again. So it's constantly cutting the grass 2 and 3 and 4 times as it rotates. There's something else I wanted to test out with this mower. I noticed it's a 33-inch high vac, and the deck is designed a certain way so that the leaves and the mulch and grass, whatever you're cutting, is designed to almost get sucked up into the blade so that it can mulch even more. And if you look at the edge of the deck, it has a lip on it. So I know it's designed for that, but I've always seen on some videos where some people actually open the discharge chute and they'll kick the leaves out and then run over it again, and that mulches the grass up a little bit better. So I'm curious to see, after we change the blade out with the GATOR G3, which one works better. Is it better to discharge the leaves and grass, or is it better to keep it closed and just have everything mulch within the deck? I'm thinking option 2, but you know, that's what testing's all about. We'll see what happens. Here's a new G3 blade. Oh, and by the way, make sure you install it the right way. Some people actually install it flat, which is actually incorrect. It's supposed to be the inside. It's supposed to be facing up, which means facing towards the plate. So you have to make sure that this grooved area, or grooved side rather, is actually inside. So when it cuts, it'll cut here, and then it'll flow up and then cut again. And by the way, with a new blade, people sometimes think the blade's supposed to be super sharp. It's not going to be. One, I'm thinking because of safety reasons, but in truth be told, if it was sharp as a knife, once it hit the grass, it actually dulled very, very quickly. And people don't understand that. So if you see a new blade and it's not that sharp, you use your finger to actually, you know, run your finger over it, it's okay. But believe this is sharp. You can't run your fingers over this, you'll cut your hand off. That shows flush. Here's these alignment. I didn't over it. It's pretty easy. That's tight. There it is. So this should be pretty interesting as it cuts. First hit that, and then come up, and go around and cut it over and over again. Good. So I'm going to cut it first with the chute down, or closed rather, and then I'll open the chute back up to see if it actually cuts better. But I got a feeling with the chute closed, it'll actually cut it better because it's keeping everything within the deck. So here we go. So it's actually doing a really good job cutting out the leaves into a very fine mulch. As you can see, the pieces left behind are very, very small. But what happened is I have such a thick layer of leaves down. I'm gonna have to go over this maybe 3 or 4 times just to get it cut down, because as you can see, there's actually a layer of leaves on my lawn here. So it goes from that to something much finer, which is pretty good. I think it'll make really good mulch. But I think it's a success. The GATOR G3 does a pretty good job. As you can see, I tried to take the chute off, but what happens is I forgot this is a converter mower, and you need the actual chute to put it back on. You can't just lift this chute up. You're gonna need an actual discharge chute to put on properly to discharge it. So maybe I'll get that and see what works, but as for right now, this works pretty good. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope I was a help to someone, and hey, if you know better than I do, leave comments below. Tell me what I did wrong. Tell me what I can do better so we can all do this together. All right, thanks, guys. Take care. Peace out.